The state of Etsy search right now. You may have noticed Etsy made some changes in the past week. Important changes. They are changes to how our listings rank in search. These are the changes that were promised a little while ago to help us all create great quality listings to hopefully improve the Etsy experience to buyers. So these are very important for us to understand, and these factors were eagerly anticipated. And like always with Etsy, they weren't quite what we expected and didn't fail to disappoint. I've been through them all and talked about them to experts and compared with the previous articles to bring you the state of Etsy search right now, best practices and what we need to do to show up in search. There are sort of 4 levels here. First is matching. It's a dumb Etsy algorithm. When someone searches for any search term, it finds as many listings as it can that has those words anywhere in the title tag, attributes, categories, and even apparently the description. To be considered by the matching algorithm, we just have to have the keywords somewhere. But as some keywords can have millions of other listings that can be shown in search, Etsy has to know which are the best to show the customer. It starts to do this with the second round of algorithms, the ranking algorithms. And the thing that Etsy has told us that directly impact where you rank in search are keyword relevance. If the keywords in your listing title, categories, and attributes and descriptions exactly match the phrase the customer is typing into search, then this can increase your ranking power for the keyword. Etsy used to say put your most important keywords in your title and tags, and from testing, this does rank listings slightly higher. Keywords in the descriptions, attributes, and categories don't seem to have a large enough impact to make much of a real world difference as to where your listing ranks. Shipping cost. From October 2024, listings with lower shipping costs will be prioritized in search results for US domestic listings. Mentions of the free shipping guarantee have been removed from these articles, so it's unlikely that this now has any additional benefit. But free is less than the $6 that Etsy states that you should try and keep your shipping price below. Customer service quality. This is the new metric that you can see from your Etsy dashboard, and Etsy does tell us that shops that consistently follow their customer service standards are prioritized in search. So this is a factor in where you rank. The metrics that Etsy are tracking here are message response rate, reply to 80% of first messages within 24 to 48 hours. This is oddly worded. They mean within 48 hours. You're not going to get penalized for responding too soon. They just mean for a star seller, there are even stricter criteria. But if you're a star seller, you'll be hitting your customer service stats. 80% of orders dispatch on time. Then, for the average review rating and case rate, it seems these are different for different sizes of shops. Mine says no more than 4 reviews have a rating of 3 or lower, which is interesting because 3 months ago I got a 1 low review, and I do feel I saw a step change in my shop, but it could be a coincidence. An easier standard is good news as you can't please everyone. And for the case rate, my shop is saying no more than 3 cases refunded from my payment account. And there are things that are not included in this metric. So again, we don't have to freak out with the odd horrible customer and fear them opening cases against us. Recency is another factor in where your listings rank in search. Either a new listing or a renewed listing gets a little boost in search. This isn't something that lasts long, and there does seem to be, if you keep renewing a listing, the boost gets less and less. So it's a strategy to use very sparingly. Also, Etsy actually tells us they look at how popular your other listings in your shop have been to predict where a new listing should rank. So, reading between the lines there, this suggests that a shop can get authority for certain keywords that it's doing well for, and maybe another reason why shops with a strong niche seem to do a little better on Etsy. The third thing to consider after matching and ranking is engagement. This is basically how shoppers interact with your listing when they see it in search. Do they click, heart, or buy it? So this is where Etsy gives us a lot of advice for how to create listings with conversion in mind. But remember, Etsy's saying for how they find it in search. This is not your overall shop conversion. In my opinion, conversion is one of the most important factors. Yes, finding the keywords and making sure you explain to the algorithm enough that it starts to understand what your listing is all about is very important. But if Etsy shows your listing in search and no one clicks on it, then you don't have a business. And this is also an indirect ranking factor because if the engagement is lower than the other listings that Etsy can show in search, Etsy will show your listings less and less. But also, conversion is not an exact science because it depends on what customers like. So, the advice Etsy gives us here is best practices rather than hard rules. But that is not to say that they might not use these factors they are warning you about in your dashboard at some point. I can see this as a possibility, but at the moment, these don't seem to have an impact on ranking or a big enough impact to be noticeable. But factors like clear, bright, high quality photographs that are not photo collages, having your keywords close to the start of your title, and writing your title for a human rather than just keyword stuffing it, good reviews, and even your response to reviews could also encourage conversion. And having your shop filled in with policies, having a shop icon, these are not mentioned as actual ranking factors, but they may be conversion factors that increase your engagement score. But either way, this is something you can quickly update in your shop if you've missed anything. I don't think it's going to make an immediate change to your sales, but it won't hurt. The fourth factor is personalization. This means that the Etsy algorithm shows everyone searching slightly different results depending on themselves, where they live, what they've liked in the past, and who knows how many other factors. But we know from the Etsy Coders blog that the personalizations are only added to the first 1,000 listings in search. So you have to be ranking in the first 1,000 listings to have a chance of being shown. And it's likely the higher you're ranked from the past three algorithms, then the more likely your listing is to be shown in search. I put all these changed articles into ChatGPT to see if she could summarize the changes, and she spotted that Etsy have an increased emphasis on conversion rates, and this totally makes sense. Josh Silverman expressed frustration that most Etsy gurus were focused on SEO, and I think he's a little wrong here. We do need to know what customers are searching for, and we need to do enough to tell the algorithm that we're relevant for these keywords. But I totally understand that creating listings that customers love is so important. User friendly listings with readable titles, useful descriptions, and clear photographs and actual decent customer support is very important. I don't think an algorithm can tell us what a good picture is, though. We've already seen some of the recommendations are very bad. Chatty also let me know an important change was to the shipping cost, and I agree. In a way, I'm happy the focus has been moved away from free shipping, but Etsy, plenty other sites are able to show me the shipping cost before I click on the listing. I think best practices are still best practices and nothing big has changed. Yet. I would not recommend changing all your images based on the suggestions. Experiment perhaps with some listings that are not performing great at first, and have the Etsy recommendations in mind when making new listings. We'll see how much of an impact the shipping will have. Honestly, free shipping guarantee didn't really seem to make much of a difference, and the customer service score is just like a star seller light. So hopefully most shops can meet the standard. If you're unable to meet the Etsy shipping policies in your country, let Etsy know as soon as possible, because it's not such a big deal if you can't get star seller. But this score impacts how your listings rank in search, so Etsy need to sort that out. But that's just my thoughts, and some areas in these articles are open to interpretation. So let me know what your interpretation of this is.